Okay, 2-1-73. Good luck. We played once before. We drew that one. So this is 3-minute blitz. I've been playing bullets, so I've got to adjust to the speed. Let's play a normal carol. Let's go with the queen just to get up a more standard theory. Queen up, and it's not that bad actually. It's just a pawn at our level. It's just a pawn. It's not as bad as it looks at first, that. Now I've got bishop up or bishop up. Rook across back. Yeah, I'm just going to bring the bishop up around. He'll probably come forward. Then probably come back, knight across. Bishop down is quite common. Just get developed, get castled. That's what he's done. So I play a knight up. It is possible to still mess up and go wrong at this. Like I said, at our level, it's really just a pawn that you've lost in the opening. It's not critical. Or not as critical as at the elite level. Okay, so he's brought the knight across. So we can take... You could take here, I guess, but then we take the bishop, right? So take here, take pawn over. Then we can maybe castle. That looks quite pleasant. We just get castled quickly queen side. Then we've got to do something about this bishop. So obviously I can't push up now without hanging the rook. So bishop back, pawn up. I mean, I could play f6. He's naturally drop back to attack the pawn. I guess I'd better sidestep to try and guard that. Okay, he's come forward, but now I can go up here, right? There's no bishop back, and I've got bishop back here. He can't castle through this, but probably worth coming back anyway. Yeah, he's gone there. So I'm going to drop the bishop back and try and challenge here. Then maybe get this other bishop up somewhere with it if it's possible. Might not be. So do I go around the angles like this, or do I just come up one? I think I'm going to take first. And just come up one. And then maybe king up at some point. Rook up, double up. If he takes, we can push up and try and trap the bishop, but he wouldn't blunder that, or he shouldn't blunder that. Very nicely placed king, actually. Very nicely placed. So trades should be good for us. Should be. Doesn't mean they're guaranteed to be, but they should be. So he's gonna cross. So I guess we just try and go really solid here. At some point he'll push. I've got to get forward. How do I do that? Maybe I do this, put them on dark squares, or this to release the king. Oh, he's come forward. I'm going to step up first. Let's see, if he takes, we can play up, so he doesn't do that as expected. A little bit risky putting them on dark squares with the dark squared bishop. A little bit risky. So I'm going to try and come around the back and shift this bishop down. Probably got to push, probably. Yeah, rook across, but now I've got bishop here. I guess he can simply drop back. I don't really want to go here and double up, so I'm going to go here. I think he'll move his bishop. I don't think he'll take, but he could. Okay, so is this a move now? Take, this is loose. Let's go here and try and fix this. I'm really tempted to play g5, but it creates a big weakness, doesn't it? So he's come forward. That allows me to check though. Okay, he's just had enough of that game. If he goes back, we just get check. We hit two pieces there, whichever way it goes. We just get a little bit of luck in that game. That's all it was. Okay, 18-10. Good luck. It's a bit of a name, isn't it? 5,800 games, very good. Let's play a d4 game this one instead of the Reti, so we'll just probably go this way instead here. London structure maybe. All very standard. What do we want to do here? I think I'll play the knight forward. All moves are kind of possible. You leave the bishop where it is. He could play bishop up, he could ignore it and castle. It does run a risk of takes, but he does do the bishop up. Okay, so now I'll take here, castle. So, do we trade or do we drop back? I'm going to go for the trade and keep it knight versus knight, and then try and just challenge in the centre somehow. Let's play b3, ready to play c4. He might go this way, he might do. That allows us to maybe go e4. But I think c4 just seems better for this pawn structure. Maybe rook across if he doesn't take. If he does, probably the pawn, but knight's a perfectly good move. Okay, he's ignored it, tempting us to push on. I think I'll just develop the rook first. Then we can maybe push 2, so we can't do that now. So here, takes, I like that. Threatening to push on both pawns. But this is obviously weak now, depending on how he plays this. Oh wait, my knight is loose there, isn't it? My knight is actually loose there. Let's go up and maybe rook across, maybe pawn up to hit the queen. He's going to end up piling a lot of pressure on our pawn. I'd rather have the H pawn than the G pawn really, but... Oh, he wants to launch one down here. Okay, I will go the G pawn then and hit the queen. Maybe even F4, maybe. That gives us knight forward though. Trade. It's a trade. If the knight moves somewhere, we hit the pawn, right? I think it's the move. Hit queen pawn. Hit the queen twice. So if he moves the knight, we can attack the pawn. So he goes to defend it. So can we burst forward? It gives his knight squares, but it deals with our backward pawn. That's what we're trying to do. So say knight comes forward either way. He threatens a check here. So we'd have to drop all the way back. Knight check up. Takes. No, I don't like that. I'm going to push this one instead and commit to keeping this pawn here. And try and target this. I don't actually see how, I must admit. If he pushes, I'll probably take, but... Yeah, let's go f4 to try and cover this knight coming in and maybe activate the rook. Not easy to figure out any plan here. Shuffle across one, maybe the king up. Knight in. So here's a nice square. Let's go here to cover this route. Okay, let's bring our king up. Hope we're not blundering. If knight down, maybe just back. So he has pushed that pawn forward. I'm going to bring my king up. Oh, he's pushed it right forward. Now that I wasn't expecting. Now let's push our pawn, then try and work the king side. Again, takes, we've got a choice. Got options, which is best. Does it matter? It probably does. Knight. There's no obvious way to get forward, is there? Rook check trade, no good. Let's go with the pawn and maybe open the file up, maybe push. Rook check and trade knight in, and we're not really gaining anything, I don't think. But this rook needs to come back. Try and double up here. The knight across would deal with this. Knight down, I can't go here. No, I can. So we're actually threatening checkmate now. Trade. I'm going to see if he takes and lets us push the pawn up. We could still go with a rook, but pawn forward, king up, knight check. It's a little bit awkward. King back, check, king up, knight across. And I think we're promoting if he does that. So I think we go with a pawn. Gives him a chance to blunder. I don't think he'll take, but he could. But his pieces are tied down. If he doesn't, he hasn't. So I need to try and run his clock. So up now. Let's go here. He can take this now. I know, I'm just trying to find something to run his clock down. He can just take the pawn. Got rook takes, there's no rook down, pushed. Yeah, it was just purely the clock, wasn't it? So we got a lot of luck thrown in that one, but it turned out to be a win in the end. Very good. Okay, we're going to check this game with the analyzer just to see how we actually played it in engine language. They're the move times for both players. So let's just request the analysis. We played 91 versus 78 on the axis. We've been better here. Move 10. Let it slip back a bit. Virtually level until the blunder there. Let's just take a quick look. Apologies, I'm a bit croaky, but I feel all right. But just a little bit croaky here, so apologies for that. So we just played the carro. I went for this offbeat move with the carrot. See, it's plus 0.9 for white. I already know that when I'm playing this move. I'm just getting out of the normal standard theory. And it's just one of them autopilot moves our opponent makes. You tend to get that more in bullet than in blitz. But at our level, like I said in the game, it's really just a pawn. It's still a perfectly playable position for white. So it was actually a blunder taking here. I should have taken the other knight first. Actually, no, it was a blunder from our opponent. It's a blunder from our opponent jumping the knight in. It's a mistake me taking that. Yeah, I should have taken this knight first before this one. It was a mistake, blunder from opponent, mistake from me. But it's not flagged anything else up here. But you can see we've come back, you know, not much better now. Actually, still 1 point for actually. It's still not a bad advantage, is it? Not bad at all. It's just still very much playable, that's all. And then just at the end, we've got a little bit of luck here where our opponent just makes a one move mistake. So it's always a bit lucky when you get a blunder like that. And we've just got rook forward. And your only legal move you've got there is to play the king back. We can take a pawn. And you can't guard both of your pieces. So, you know, I guess you'd guard your rook and you'd give up your bishop. And you could maybe still play on, take a pawn. What would we do? Drop back across. You might get another pawn. You've got this pawn here, but we should be fine there. What would the eval be there? Yeah, plus 4.8, plus 5 pretty much. So we should be fine, but at our level you could still play on. So we get a little bit of luck with that one. But let's move on to game 2. 2 and 3 I'm not actually featuring. It's game 4 is the second game. But we'll still review them all anyway. So game 2 we lost opponent, just played a very good game, so I just resigned this one. So it wasn't really that brilliant from a content point of view, which is why I'm just going to flick through it here. Opponent did pretty well here, so I'm never really able to compete in this game. Marginally level-ish, better, slightly better, move 21, and then it's just gone wrong. See, 86%, 79%. So it's just a normal carro. This is all normal standard theory. Then we managed to make some mistakes here and go wrong in this one. Well, I should have actually pushed the pawn forward there. I was considering that, but my king's very unsafe. And this is where I just start to go wrong. See, queen a5 here. My queen gets into all sorts of difficulties. And in the end, I've just kind of, like you see, effectively just bailed out of this game. I've kind of given up on this one. I realised it was completely hopeless, so I've just resigned and moved on to the next game. Now, this third game, I'm also not featuring it. And again, you'll see why as soon as I show it here. There's probably no point even doing the analysis on this one. It's just some mistakes from our opponent, playing too quick out of the opening. So we'll just have a quick flick through. You see our opponent just playing really, really quick for blitz and then not paying attention, just moving too quickly, almost pre-moving, just loses a piece and just resigns. So same as game 2 there, it's just that one's over rather quicker, so we just moved on to the next one. Right, now for the fourth and final game which we've played in this arena, which this game we are featuring. So they're the move tiles for both players, so we'll request a normal analysis for this one. Queen's pawn game, Chigorin variation. If you click on that, it'll bring up some puzzles for you to do. You can see completely level here right up until the blunder at the end. Just level, mistakes along the way. What, +2, so there's been a mistake and a blunder there somewhere. We'll take a look at that, have a quick flick through. But it looks completely flatline, doesn't it, unless there's something going on here. Yeah, it's essentially flatline the whole way through. One little blip there and then a blunder there. So 94% versus 83%. We see not a lot being flagged by the engine for either player here, so this time we're just playing a normal D4 game instead of the Reti opening where we generally go. With this setup, we're just trying to figure out a plan here, how to try and get some development. And then in the end, it really, I think, came more down to the actual clock than anything else. But we're just trying to march forward here, create some chances. We're just about slightly down on the clock, but that turns. I think that's what really makes a difference here. So Rook A7 is a blunder, and we've blundered back by not seeing that we can hit the 2 rooks. So here, take. So what? The right move. We've blundered because we played H5 and we've not punished this. But let's see what the line was. So you take, we take with the rook, not with the pawn. I was actually considering obviously taking with the pawn, which we do in the game. Rook across, knight back that way. Knight back, A3. But of course, if you don't see the whole entire line, you don't play it. And it is blitz, we're both getting low on time. But this apparently gives us a big advantage. Okay, so that's why I've blundered there. So I was just trying to march the pawns down the board. But you see, I'm now gaining that little bit of advantage on the clock. 8 seconds up. I'm trying to put my opponent under time pressure, which is why I've just hung this pawn here. 20 against 4 now, and I was aware of the clock, so I'm just trying to get my opponent low on time and just throw some moves in. So we get a little bit of luck with this one as well, but that's just amateur chess. It is what it is.